Hello, I'm Sally Gunn, and today's book is Nate the Great, San Francisco Detective by Marjorie Weinman-Sharmat and M.W.Sharmat, illustrated by Martha Weston. By the way, if you've started to read and you like to read chapter books, this is a chapter book as well. Have you ever heard of the Golden Gate Bridge? It's a very famous place in San Francisco, which is in California on the Pacific coast. In our story today, Nate flies with his dog Sludge to help his cousin Olivia, who is also a detective. And Olivia always wears a boa, so it's easy for her to be found in a crowd. A boa is a large, long scarf made of feathers. Olivia sends a limo to pick up Nate and Sludge, and off they go with Willie the chauffeur up and down the roads of the hilly city. He meets the overly dramatic Duncan, who has lost his joke book called Joke Stew. That's a clue. Nate leaves a note for his mother, almost gets some pancakes, and gets to ride across that famous Golden Gate Bridge. By the way, that bridge is painted orange. It's a suspension bridge. I got to drive across it one time. And even though it's painted orange, it's named for a body of water called the Golden Gate Strait that flows under the bridge. At the end of all the Nate the Great stories, there are always interesting things, some jokes, some interesting things to think about. And you might like to try to get one of these books yourself. Nate the Great, San Francisco Detective. Oh, there's another famous aspect of San Francisco, the cable cars. Chapter 1, Mr. Great. My name is Nate the Great. I am a detective. My dog Sludge is a detective too. This morning, Sludge and I were at the airport in San Francisco. We were supposed to meet another detective there at 10 o'clock, my cousin, Olivia Sharp. Olivia always wears a boa made of feathers. This makes her easy to find, anywhere. But all we saw were strangers and many people with signs. Look at all these people. Oh, there's a person who has a sign that says Nate the Great. All at once, I, Nate the Great, saw a sign that said, Nate the Great, in big letters. A man in uniform was holding it. He came up to us. Mr. Great and Sludge, he said. I'm Willie, Miss Olivia's chauffeur. She's out on her 8 o'clock case. It's running late. She hasn't even started her 9 o'clock. Willie picked up my suitcase. Your limo is over there, he said. My limo? Yes, Miss Olivia always travels in a limo, but today she saved it for you. I, Nate the Great, had never been in a limo. Sludge had never been in a limo. It was long and shiny. We got inside. Willie got in the front seat, and we were off. Chapter 2, Calling Nate the Great. We drove up and down many hills. San Francisco's a very hilly city. Is everything all right back there, Mr. Great? Willie asked. I looked at Sludge. He wagged his tail. Fine, I said. But can you tell me about the case that's making Olivia late? Her friend Duncan lost a joke book, Willie said. Miss Olivia is looking for it. Willie drove us to Olivia's house and let us in. A telephone was ringing and ringing. This was a phone that needed to be answered. Nate the Great for Olivia Sharp, I said. Hello, Nate. It was Annie from back home. We all miss you, she said, and Fang has something to tell you. I heard heavy breathing. I knew it was Fang, her dog, and he was on the line. I was happy to be many miles away from his teeth. I waited. Fang had nothing else to say. Then I heard a strange voice. It belonged to Rosamond. "My turn. Bring back California fish for my cats. Lots of fish. All the fish you can carry. Over and out." "I thank all of you for the call," I said. Then I heard another voice. "Wait, it's me, Claude. I lost something." Claude was always losing something. "I lost an itsy-bitsy seashell 2 years ago on the Golden Gate Bridge. Find it." Claude hung up. Chapter 3. The End of the World. The telephone rang again. "Nate the Great for Olivia Sharp," I said. "Hello, this is Duncan. It's 11 o'clock and the world is coming to an end." I, Nate the Great, hoped that this Duncan person did not have his information straight. "I need Olivia," Duncan said. "Olivia's out," I said. Duncan moaned. "Oh, then the world is really coming to an end." Could you be more specific?" I asked. "Well," said Duncan, "I lost my joke book. I have to tell a joke to a friend at 2 o'clock. And I forget how it ends." "Olivia's on your case," I said. "Yes, I'm her case number set 22, Duncan said, but she is also working on cases number 18 and number 21 at the same time. She'll never solve mine by 2 o'clock. I, Nate the Great, had never heard such a sad voice. "Very well," I said, "I will also take your case." I hung up. Then I called my mother. The answering machine came on. I said, "Dear Mother, Sludge and I are on a California case, but it has something to do with the entire world, or the end of it, something like that. I will be back. Love, Nate the Great." It's so important that he lets his mother know where he is. Chapter 4. Joke Stew. Willie drove Sludge and me to Duncan's house. "I will wait in the limo," Willie said. I knocked on Duncan's door. He answered it. Duncan looked even sadder than he sounded. His hair was hanging limp. Oh, it is. His socks were drooping. His jeans were slipping. Sludge and I walked inside. "I am Nate the Great," I said, "and this is my assistant, Sludge. Tell us about your joke book." "Well, I was in Booksy's bookstore yesterday," Duncan said. "I saw this small book called Joke Stew. It was the only copy there. I bought it. I left the bookstore with the book in a Booksy's bag. Then what did you do?" "I went to lots of other stores and bought things. Then I went to Perry's Pancake House." Aha! A pancake house! Good thinking. Yes, Perry's Pancake House has this big menu with 5 pages of different kinds of pancakes. I started to read the menu. The waiter came by. I ordered mushberry pancakes. The waiter left. I kept reading the menu, and then I took out my joke book to find the perfect joke to tell today. I found it. Then what happened? The waiter brought the pancakes. "Did you put the joke book back in its bag?" "I don't remember," Duncan said, "because something bad happened." "What happened?" I asked. Duncan looked down at his feet. "I can't tell you." "What can you tell me?" "The world is coming to an end." I, Nate the Great, wished this case were coming to an end. I said, "So, the last place you saw your joke book was in the pancake house?" "Yes?" "Yes." "It might still be there," I said. I, Nate the Great, was sure of one thing. Pancakes were still there. 5 pages of pancakes to choose from. "I will be back," I said. Nothing he likes like pancakes. Chapter 5. Sticky, Icky Mess. Willie drove Sludge and me to Perry's Pancake House. "Sniff around outside, Sludge," I said. "Look for the joke book." I'll help Sludge, Willie said. I went inside the pancake house. It looked good. It smelled good. I walked up to a waiter. I am looking for a small joke book titled Joke Stew, I said. The waiter looked around. The waiter looked mad. A girl was just here looking for it, he said. She was wrapped in feathers. She said she was a detective. She put up lost joke book signs everywhere. Here, there, up and down the street. But we have no joke book. I know who lost it. Yesterday, this boy came in. I served him mushberry pancakes. He knocked the syrup bottle over everything. The pancakes, the menu, the table. Ugh! That waiter does not sound too happy. I scooped up all the sticky stuff. Here it is. He's got it in a trash bag. And I dumped it in a bag. I handed the bag to him. I told him that somewhere out there a hungry family of ants or flies would love this sticky, icky mess. The waiter was getting madder. I, Nate the Great, knew that I had to leave the pancake house without eating. I did not want to do that, but I went outside. Sludge and Willie were standing there. We didn't find the joke book, Willie said. We looked in front. Then Sludge went out back. He found garbage cans. We looked in them. Isn't that the wrong place to look for a joke book? Well, a good detective knows that sometimes the wrong place is the right place, I said. Smart dog, Willie said. Willie, Sludge, and I got in the limo. Chapter 6. The Golden Gate Clue. Oh, there's the Golden Gate Bridge, by the way. I liked this limo. It was a good place to think and to drive around to see San Francisco. I, Nate the Great, was thinking. I was not having any luck with Duncan's case. I had not found his joke book. I had not found Claude's seashell either. Perhaps that was because I had not looked for it. To the Golden Gate Bridge, please, I said to Willie. A fine bridge, Mr. Great, Willie said. When we got there, Sludge and I peered out the window. The Golden Gate Bridge was very, very big. Claude's seashell was very, very small. This was not going to help Claude. But suddenly I, Nate the Great, knew that it might help Duncan. I have a Golden Gate clue, I said to Willie. Onward to Duncan's house. Chapter 7. Frozen Pancakes. Duncan was waiting for us. I know all about the spilled syrup, I said. What did you do with the bag the waiter gave you? Oh, I put it in the freezer, Duncan said. I like frozen pancakes. Did you open the big bag first? No, it was too icky and sticky. I put my hand on Duncan's shoulder. I, Nate the Great, know where your joke book is. It is in your freezer. Oh, cool, Duncan said. Was that a joke? Never mind. I, Nate the Great, say you were reading the menu, but you were also reading your joke book. The menu was big, the book was small. So the book must have slid or fallen into the pages of the menu before or while the syrup spilled. The waiter scooped everything up fast and put it all in a takeout bag. You are a good detective, Duncan said, even if you don't put up signs. No problem, I said. Olivia has her way, I have mine. I opened the freezer, I saw the bag, I took it out. I opened it. It was full of cold, crusty, icky things. Pancakes, napkins, the top from a syrup container, a little tub of butter, a huge menu. But no joke book. The joke book isn't here, I said. The world is definitely coming to an end, correct? Duncan looked down at his feet. Correct, he said. I need my book at 2:00 and it's after 12 now. Do not lose hope, I said. That is the worst thing to lose. I sat down. I, Nate the Great, need pancakes, and Sludge needs a bone. They help us think. Have a frozen pancake, Duncan said. Thaw it, I said. I don't thaw, Duncan said. Very well, I said. A frozen pancake is better than no pancake at all. But give Sludge a nice bone. Chapter 8. Lost in the Big City. I ate a frozen mushberry pancake. It did not help me think, except about my cold teeth. What happened after you left the pancake house? I asked. Well, I had lots of bags. I dropped them outside the pancake house, then I picked them up and brought them home. I put the pancake bag in the freezer and the other bags over there, in that corner. But the Booksy's bag isn't there. I said. I went over to the corner and I looked inside all the bags. No book. Both the book and the Booksy's bag are missing, I said. I, Nate the Great, say that we should go to Booksy's bookstore. I think you dropped your book in its bag when you were in front of the pancake house. It wasn't there today. Perhaps somebody found it and took it back to the store. Duncan kept looking at his feet. Somebody could have found it and taken it home, he said. Or taken it on a trip, or mailed it, or kicked it, anything. This is a big city. My joke book could be anywhere. You are right, I said. I am? Yes, this is a big city case. Your book could be anywhere, but we don't have enough time to look everywhere. So, I, Nate the Great, have to choose where to look. And because the book was probably in the Booksy's bag when you lost it, I choose Booksy's bookstore. Oh, Duncan said. There is more to this detective business than I thought. Chapter 9. What's wrong is right. There's Booksy's bookstore. Willie drove Duncan, Sludge, and me to Booksy's bookstore. He waited outside with Sludge. Duncan and I went inside. Aren't books returned here? I asked a lady behind the counter. Are books returned here? Yes, she said. Was a joke book returned today or yesterday? You're the second person to ask, the lady said. A girl with a feather boa and a bunch of signs was just asking the same question. I wonder who that was. I told her a mystery book had been returned and a child's book, a cookbook and a science book, but no joke book. What happens when a book is brought back? I asked. We put it on the shelf again, she said. Duncan and I walked away. Show me the joke book department, I said. Why? It won't be there, Duncan said. We can't be positive, I said. Duncan led the way. Here, Duncan said, this is the exact place I found the book. I looked around. I looked hard. The book wasn't there. You did not choose the right place in the city to look, Duncan said. I, Nate the Great, already knew that. I saw Sludge peering through the front window. Sludge had not been much help on this case. Or had he? He had looked in the wrong place for the joke book, but he knew that sometimes the wrong place is the right place. The wrong place! Follow me, I said to Duncan. I rushed up and down the aisles, and at last I came to the place I was looking for, the wrong place. I waved to Sludge. He wagged his tail. Then I looked up and down and across the shelves, and there it was, Duncan's joke book. Joke Stew. I took it down and handed it to Duncan. My book, he said. But this is the cookbook section. Why is my book here? Aha, why do you think? I, Nate the Great, say that the lady told us a cookbook had been returned. Whoever put your book back on the shelf thought it was a cookbook. With a name like Joke Stew, it could be. Duncan smiled. He smiled. I knew the world was safe for now. Chapter 10, A Feathery Hug. Oh boy, who do you think that is with the feather boa? Duncan skipped off. Suddenly I heard a voice. Oh, you solved my case number 22. A bunch of feathers hugged me. It was Olivia, in person. I owe you one, she said. Let me know if I can ever solve a case for you. Any case, big, small, easy, hard. I think I have something for you right now, I said. It's big and it's small and possibly it's hopeless. Willie can take us to it. I, Nate the Great, enjoyed the ride back to the Golden Gate Bridge. I wonder what they're looking for. Do you think it's that seashell? I hope you enjoyed that book. I did.